Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Essential series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we are going to discuss about the essential topics from the Hindu and the Indian Express. So today, as part of this series, let's discuss the topics from the 6th June 2025, where we are going to discuss about this Greater Flamingo Sanctuary of Tamil Nadu, and the second one is Index Cards of ECI, that is Election Commission of India, and the third topic is the Trump's travel ban on 12 countries, and fourth is the 1988 UNSC Sanctions Committee on the Taliban along with the Counter-Terrorism Committee. And finally, as a Map a Country series part, we are going to see about this Philippines in the mapping point of view. So starting with the first topic, that is Greater Flamingo Sanctuary. So as according to Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, the Tamil Nadu government on 5th June 2025, that is World Environment Day, has declared or notified this part, Greater Flamingo Sanctuary, which is situated in the Dhanushkodi in the Ramanathapuram district of Tamil Nadu state. And this Greater Flamingo Sanctuary lies in the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve, having an area of 524.7 hectares. This sanctuary lies along the Central Asian Flyway, which is the migratory route for the birds between the Eurasia and the Indian subcontinent. This Greater Flamingo Sanctuary has a diverse ecosystems, included sand dunes, marshes, and the mangroves. And according to the Wetland Bird Survey 2022 to 2023, this Dhanushkodi region recorded over 10,700 wetland birds, representing 128 species. And both Greater Flamingo and the Lesser Flamingo also included by dominating this Greater Flamingo Sanctuary. And what is the significance of declaration of this part, this Greater Flamingo Sanctuary of Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve as a wildlife sanctuary? It safeguards the biodiversity hotspot and also promote responsible tourism, thereby benefiting the local population also. Benefiting local population. So this is the news. What we have to study extra, that is about flamingos. So what are these flamingos? These flamingos are the wading birds, are a type of wading birds, or these large shore birds with S-like long necks and stick-like legs. See, S like the long leg and it has the stick-like legs. And the important or the special feature of these flamingos are, see here, they stand on one leg only. If you see here, they stand on one leg only. And the other leg, they will tuck beneath their body. So they stand on one leg only, the flamingos. Coming to the distribution of these flamingos are distributed across the tropical and the subtropical areas. And coming to its diet, these flamingos are omnivores. That is, they feed on other organisms, like they are filter feeders also. They feed on shrimps, cyanobacteria, larvae, insects, mollusks, and the crustaceans, all the water organisms. They feed on water organisms. And here they are filter feeders also. That means they have their special structure, hairy structure called lamella. They have this hairy structure called lamella. With the help of this lamella, these flamingos will filter their food by separating the dust or the sand particles from the food, and they will take the food only. So that's why they are the filter feeders. And with the help of this lamella, which is a hairy structure. So with the help of this lamella, they will filter out the sediments and they take only the food. Coming to the habitat, they live in the shallow eutrophic water bodies like saline lakes, etc. And coming to the features or the characteristics of these flamingos, these are very noisy birds which produces very noises, heavy noises and the vocalization. And these are also very social bonds. That means they live in the communities and maintain very good bonding also. And across the globe, we have 6 types of species of these flamingos. Those are greater flamingo and the lesser flamingo, which are present in India. And Chilean flamingo, American flamingo or the Caribbean flamingo, and the Andean flamingo, James flamingo, and the Puna flamingo. Now, coming to the Indian flamingos, those are the greater flamingo and the lesser flamingo. This greater flamingo is the state bird of Gujarat. In India, this greater flamingo is the state bird of Gujarat, and this greater flamingo is the tallest of all these flamingos. That means it has a height of about 3.9 to 4.7 feet. And its distribution include Africa, Middle East, Indian subcontinent, and the Europe. Coming to the IUCN status, greater flamingo are listed as least concern in the IUCN red list. Now coming to the lesser flamingo. This lesser flamingo is the smallest of all the 6 types of species. And these are present in India, Pakistan, Arabian Gulf and the Sub-Saharan Africa. Its IUCN status is declared as near threatened. So these are the some basic details about the flamingos and the Greater Flamingo Sanctuary. Now moving to our second topic, that is index cards of ECI. So why we are discussing this? The Election Commission of India said that it had upgraded the mechanism for generating index cards, making it more technology driven. We'll see what are these index cards. So these index cards are a non-statutory post-election statistical report format. Remember, these index cards are part of this Election Commission of India, and these are post-election statistical reporting formats. And what is the purpose of this index cards? It promotes the accessibility of the election related data. Election related data at the constituency level for all the stakeholders, including researchers, academicians, and the policy makers also. So this index cards provides the data related to this post-election statistical reports. And those data can be accessed by the researchers, academicians, and the policy makers. And this index card serves as a foundation for generating about 35 statistical reports for Lok Sabha elections and the 14 statistical reports for the state assembly polls. And these index cards will be managed by the Election Data Management Division of this Election Commission of India. Remember, these index cards are part of this Election Commission of India, and these are post-election statistical reporting, and these are managed by the Election Data Management Division of the Election Commission of India. And coming to the process, how these index cards are going to be worked out, or what is the process of this data management of this election process? See, there are 3 steps in this index. The first is the creation of this index card by capturing the complete election information. After the completion of the elections, the returning officer of that constituency, see, in the first stage, the returning officer of that constituency will capture this complete election information and will upload the data regarding the data of electors, voters, and other details, etc. So what is the output of this first process? We will get the complete information of elections, whoever conducted, how many voters are conducted, how many are absent, how many members are contested, like that. So in this first process or the first stages of this index card, which will be filled by the returning officer of this constituency, we will get to know the complete information of the elections. And after that, second stage of index card is that verification of data. Its purpose is to ensure the accuracy of this constituency data. See, here the returning officer fills up this data, and in the second stage, this data will be verified by the chief electoral officer and for checking the any errors in the data. And what is the output of the second step? It highlights the data entry exceptions also. It highlights if any errors are there and thereby promoting the accuracy of this constituency data. And final stage of this index card is the generation of these statistical reports. So after completion of these two reports, we will generate the statistical reports from verified index cards, and we will draft reports verified before the final registration or the final generation, and the data uses verified data from this before previous index cards. And what is the output of this last stage? It is a final report with frozen or the non-editable data. It is the final stage. Here, the returning officer will fill, chief electoral officer will verify the data, and in the final stage, it is the final or the frozen, and it is not editable data. This is the process going to be followed in this index cards of the Election Commission of India for. Next, coming to a third topic, that is Trump's travel ban on 12 countries. United States President Donald Trump has signed a proclamation on June 5th that banning citizens from 12 countries from entering the United States, which is going to be effective from June 9th. We'll see what are these 12 countries and why has he banned. Now, what is the trigger point for initiating a ban on these 12 countries? So recently, Egyptian man, a man from the Egypt, created a terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, in this United States. So, for safeguarding the national security of America, President Donald Trump has created a ban on this 12 nations. The total ban countries, he announced the ban on 12 country citizens from entering the United States. Those 12 countries are Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Along with the total ban, he also imposed partial restrictions on these other countries: Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. So he imposed partial restrictions on the 7 countries and the total ban on the 12 countries. There is also some exemptions. The exemptions included the athletics. For athletics, whoever competing in this 2026 FIFA World Cup, where US is the co-host, along with the Canada and the Mexico. So these bans are not applicable to the athletes competing in this 2026 FIFA World Cup, along with this athlete competing in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, and the diplomats from the targeted countries. Diplomats also exempted from this ban, and also the certain categories of individuals, including those holding visa. If the persons holding visas are not banned, certain categories, and the permanent residents and the dual nationals also exempted from this ban. So, why only these certain 12 countries on total ban and the 7 countries of partial restrictions? How these countries were identified? They were identified based on certain criteria. Those criteria are the national security threat. The countries where the America considers these countries are perceived threat to the United States security, those included in this ban. So first category is the national security threat. And the second category is coming to the disregard with respect to this immigration law. That means staying in the United States even after the completion of their visa period. High visa overstay rates. Whichever citizens or whoever citizens are staying in the United States after the completion of their period also, they are also going to be removed or banned from the travel to the United States of America. And the next criteria is the terrorist presence. Whoever countries are promoting terrorism or terrorist actions in the United States, those are also banned, terrorist presence. Next, whichever nations are unwilling to accept those nationals of their own countries, those are also included in this ban. So there are 4 criteria. The first is the national security threat, disregard for the immigration law, the presence of the terrorist activities, and the unwillingness to accept the nationals. That is the repatriation unwillingness. And this is not the first time the US President Donald Trump has initiated this ban. He also initiated this ban in its first tenure, that is in the 2017. which included 7 countries. Now, moving to a fourth topic, that is the 1988 UNSC Sanctions Committee on the Taliban and the Counter-Terrorism Committee. So, why we are discussing this? See, on April 22nd, the world witnessed the Pahalgam attack, which involved the Pakistani terrorist. And now, what happened? And India is showing to the world by opposing fund, the international organizations fund like World Bank and the IMF. And yesterday, the ADB Asian Development Bank also gave or provided loans to this Pakistan. And India is showing the world that or cautioning these organizations or the world against the misuse of these funds. And also, India is sending its delegates to the world to present its case regarding these terrorist organizations or the terrorist activities going on in the Pakistan. But see now what happened? The Islamabad will now chair the UNSC committee established under the resolution 1988-2011, which oversees the implementation of sanctions against this Taliban. See, Pakistan has become the chair of this UNSC committee, which was established to oversee the implementation of the sanctions against the Taliban. So there is a concern for India. And next, it has also been named vice chair of the Counter Terrorism Committee. See, the country itself is promoting the terrorism, and the country itself is chairing or the vice chairing these organizations like Counter Terrorism Committee, which monitors the implementation of the Resolution 1373, a core component of the UN's global counter terrorism architecture. So why we are studying? What is the concern for India? Obviously, it's a concern for India, right? India is fighting against the terrorism, and Pakistan being in the chair of these committees will do or will overturn the stakes or the cards in the game. It can overturn our India's concern by creating a false narrative as it usually does, or it may block the India's attempts to position this terrorist in these committees list or etc. So that's why India is concerned, and now we are studying about these topics. For an exam point of view, we have to know about what is this 1988 UNSC Sanctions Committee. This was created on June 17, 2011. And what is its mandate? To implement or oversees the actions related to the sanctions on the Taliban. And this committee imposes sanctions like asset freezes, travel bans, and the arms embargo of this Taliban. And it consists of 15 members of the UNSC, including permanent and the non-permanent member. And Pakistan now is the one of the non-permanent members of this UNSC, United Nations Security Council. And its decision is going to be by consensus only. Every member has to agree to the decision. If one member is not agreeing to the decision, that will not be voted. And coming to the, see here for this 1988 UNSC Sanctions Committee, Pakistan is the chair. And along with Pakistan as the chair, the vice chairs are Guyana and the Russian Federation. Previously, in the years 2021 and 2022, India also acted as the chairman of this 1988 UNSC Sanctions Committee. So here, one good point is that if the Russian Federation and the Guyana are in the vice chairs, India may not have concerns regarding the Pakistan's decision because the decisions are voted by the consensus. We can here act. We can utilize this Russian membership as the vice chair. And what are the responsibilities of the sanctions committee or the mandate of the sanctions committee? See, first it oversees the sanctions implementation. And it also designate the entities or the identify and list the entities which are meeting the criteria as the terrorist. And it also evaluates and decide on the exemption request. It reviews the sanctions list periodically, and it also examines the monitoring reports from analyzing the reports from the monitoring team. This UNSC Sanctions Committee or this 1988 Sanctions Committee report to the Security Council to inform the Council on sanctions implementation. It also conduct the outreach activities like conducting public awareness initiatives. See, this generally we might miss if it comes in the exam. This 1988 Sanctions Committee on Taliban also conduct outreach activities in promoting awareness initiatives. Now moving to next one, that is the UN Counter-Terrorism Committee. And why we are discussing this? Pakistan is the vice chair of this UN Counter-Terrorism Committee along with the Russia and the France. And chairman is the Algeria is the chairman of this UN Counter-Terrorism Committee. And this tenure is up to December 31st, 2025. And UN Counter-Terrorism Committee was established aftermath of this 9/11 terror attacks in the United States of the year 2001. This Counter-Terrorism Committee is assisted by an executive directorate, will carries out policy decisions and country visits across the UN member states, the 193 member states, in combating the terrorism activities. Here also the decision is taken by the consensus only. So these are the two, the 1988 Sanctions Committee on Taliban and the UN Counter-Terrorism Committee. Where in the first case Pakistan is the chairman and here the second case Pakistan is the vice chairman of these committees. Now coming to map a country series, that is we are going to discuss about the Philippines. Why? Because there is a exercise, the military exercise have conducted between Philippines and the United States together in the South China Sea, which is known as the Maritime Cooperative Activity. MCA. This maritime cooperative activities was conducted for the second time to boost interoperability between the Philippines and the United States. And this activity was conducted in the South China Sea. So this Philippines is an archipelagic country in the Southeast Asia, bordered by the Philippine Sea on this northeast and the South China Sea on the northwest and the Celeb Sea in the south. And this country, Philippines, is geographically divided into three categories or the three regions. The first region is the northern region is the Luzon, and the middle part is the Visayas, and the southern region is the Mindanao. It is located in the Western Pacific Ocean, and Philippines has 11 largest islands. Those are Luzon, Mindanao, Samar, Negros, Palawan, Panay, Mindoro, Leyte, Cebu, Bohol, Masbate. These 11 largest islands contain 95% of its land area. And this Philippines is also a developing country with the emerging market, and now it is transitioning from its agriculture-based economy to the service and the manufacturing-based economy. That's all for today. Thank you.